Alright guys, today I'm going to be putting in this guy, hose spigot, hose bib, silcock, whatever you want to call it. It's frost free, which means that when you turn the valve, it shuts off the water way down here. So that way, in the wintertime, when it freezes, you don't have any water anywhere near the exterior wall. It's way inside. And that'll prevent, hopefully, hose bursting, or the pipe bursting rather. Now this particular model, I've already got 2 of these on my house. Here's the third one. I like this one because it's half twist, full on, full off. That's it. You don't have to sit there and crank on it all day long to get the flow you want. I've had pretty good luck with them, so I'm going to put in another one. The most important thing with this, when you install it, you have to install it in a nose down attitude or a pitch down attitude like this. So that way when you shut the water off, all that water will drain out the pipe and then down, and then there won't be any water in the pipe to freeze. If you do it like that, well, obviously the water's not going to run out. So that's pretty important. So we're going to go ahead, get started. These come in a variety of lengths, so you're going to need to measure and figure out what's going to work best for your application with obstructions and that stuff. But generally speaking, the longer they are, the more resistant they are to freezing, because there's less water in the pipe and it goes farther inside the structure where there's more heat. So typically speaking, the farther north you are, the longer silcock you're going to need. Down in Texas and Florida and those kinds of places, they don't even have frost-free hose bibs. They use regular hose bibs because up until recently, they haven't had a whole ton of freezing weather. But I'm sure that a lot of people down there wish they had these. So typically speaking, I like to put in the longest one you can because it's just less worry down the road. And as long as it's not going to run into any obstructions, it's just extra insurance, prevent against freezing. So I've got copper pipe in my house, so I'm going to also show you guys how to sweat pipe or solder pipe. Because you need to know how to do that to put these in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I think we're through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill through the outside layer with a hole saw, just because it's going to cut aluminum better. And then I'm going to switch to a spade bit, 1 1/8, to hog out the rest of the material. Doesn't need to be a crazy angle, but you got to have some pitch to it. Okay. And we're through. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and install it, and then I'm going to caulk behind it and put 2 stainless steel screws in to secure it to the house. And then what we're going to do is take the guts of it out so we can solder to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this into the joist. That's going to be my water coming in, and then this piece is going to get threaded into here like that, and then this is going to connect from here to my hose bib, and that is so that you can take this thing apart and not have to worry about sweating and using heat inside of your house or near structures or anything like that. So if you ever wanted to take it back out, you can just unthread it from the outside and pull it out. I'm going to show you how to sweat pipe real quick. This is just a scrap piece. So you need to clean the outside of your pipe and deburr it. That's what this thing does. It'll clean the outside with these wire brushes, and it'll deburr it with this bent over piece of steel. So it does it all in one shot. It'll save you a little bit of time doing it this way. Nice and clean on the outside, or deburred. Try to avoid touching that a whole lot, because the more dirt in there, the less likely it is to get a good solder joint. And then you're going to clean the inside of your fitting, like that. And then get your flux. Make sure it's rated for potable water. It's plumbing flux, it's not something else. A little flux, just a little bit, do ya? It may even be a little bit too much. Make sure it's oriented whichever way you need. I got my plumbing solder right there. Fire up the torch. I've got the flame down here at the bottom, and you touch the top, and the solder will flow around that joint, just like that. And once it's cooled off a little bit, you take a little bit of a damp rag or a dry rag even, and just wipe off any dirt and excess solder, and that's it, you're good to go. Real quick, I was going to try to solder this on the ground over there, and then I realized I wasn't going to be able to get it up here and through the hole I just drilled. And yeah, so that's why it's set up like this. I pulled out the extra and I kind of got it sit here. It's away from everything, so I'm not worried about setting anything on fire. But that being said, if you're ever soldering pipe inside your house, always have a fire extinguisher ready. You never know when you're going to have an accident. If you drop this torch, set your carpet on fire or the wall or drywall or anything, you're going to be in a whole world of hurt if you can't get it out. My dad once told me a story about how he almost burned his house down when he was sweating pipe inside of a wall, and he set some insulation on fire. So always have a bucket of water or a fire extinguisher, and just for God's sakes be careful, because you can really screw some stuff up here. This is a pretty big fitting, so it's going to take a while to get hot. Still pretty hot. The reason you want to wait is so you don't crack the solder. You want to let it kind of cool first. And this pipe is very hot, so don't burn yourself. Now that I've got the pipe secured and everything, everything's been soldered, everything's cooled off. So now I haven't put the guts of the hose bib back in yet because there's probably debris and small pieces of copper from when I soldered all the joints and cleaned everything up. So I want to flush all that stuff out before I put the guts of the spigot back in. That way none of that stuff's going to get caught onto the rubber seals or anything like that. So right now it's just an open pipe outside, and I've also got one on the back side of my house that I took out to help break the vacuum when I drain the pipes. So I'm going to leave that one out too. And I'm just going to run it for a second or two or three. I don't know, maybe a little longer. I'm going to go look at it, see how much crap there is coming out. And we're going to go from there. This is also the scary time when you check for leaks. Sounds like demons. Let me go see if we got any water out. Okay, so we're out here, still some water draining out. I don't feel any more debris. So I may just flush it one more time and then put everything back together. Okay, so I think this thing flips that way. Because if you put it any other way, it just wants to roll back that direction when you push it in. So we're gonna try that. And if we have a problem, we'll change it. So that's in there. Don't forget washer or gasket. And then this thing will have to be tightened. So that's all the way in. Freaking guy in the dirt bike, man. Make sure you tighten that correctly. It says tighten and loosen. These are left-hand threads. It even says left hand LH on that right there. You don't need to over tighten this thing either. So be gentle. Snug. The handle's gonna go in. Alright, so that's shut. Let's go turn the water on and check for leaks inside. Alright, so we went inside, checked for leaks. Everything looks good. Got the water back on. Now this is normal for their water to still be coming out after you shut this off. Remember, the valve is way inside the house. So it's going to take a little while for the water to drain out that pipe and down. See, it's already slowing down and stopping right here. So that is it. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, write a comment, shoot me an email, and we'll see you next time.